morning from Isabel Farquharson, elder and member of the worship group of Easton Old Church. It's Wednesday the 19th of October, and hasn't the weather changed so suddenly? 1 week we were enjoying warm sunshine, and then last week the first frosty morning, and this Sunday we put the clocks back. Today I'd like to share with you our last holiday adventure. I actually intended talking about an entirely different subject, but I hope you enjoy hearing and perhaps have a wee laugh along with me. At 9:30 on the 24th of September, Jim and I set off on a cruise and stay break. Alf and Marion again took us to Dundee to get the Explore bus to Edinburgh Airport. It was a nice journey as usual, and we joined the check-in queue straight away. First blip. I had packed my tablet, which should go in the hand luggage, in the suitcase, so it had to be removed. What suitcase was it in? You've guessed it, the second one I tried. We made our way through security, stopping for coffee and a bite to eat. Eventually our flight was called, and we joined the boarding queue and waited and waited and waited. After some time, the crew arrived, late. We never did find out why. On the plane, we were given a small tub of water and a small packet of crisps, so we were glad we'd taken time to have something at the airport. Next hold up was waiting for one couple to board the bus for our 55-minute journey to the ship. No problems boarding the ship. I had all the necessary paperwork, we were given our cruise card, and when we arrived at our cabin, our luggage was already there. This was now 7:30 at night, Spanish time. We managed to get some supper and eventually sailed at 11:30, 1.5 hours late. Some passengers' flights had been delayed. It was very windy that night, and I witnessed the most spectacular lighting display during a thunderstorm. We then spent 5 days being tossed and turned by the high winds. Because of the bad weather conditions, our itinerary had to be changed slightly, but the captain managed to avoid the very worst of the weather. We were unable to visit Corsica because that involved going ashore by tender boat. However, he was able to secure an alternative slot, and we visited Genoa, which we really enjoyed. Saturday the 1st of October saw us in a hotel in Alcudia, and lovely warm sunshine. Only drawback, the mosquitoes. We were bitten all over and had to search for spray to give us some relief. Otherwise, we enjoyed walking around and eating out at night. Tuesday the 4th of October, we were up at 7 o'clock in the morning for a quick breakfast, said goodbye to the mozzies and boarded the bus for the return journey of 55 minutes to the airport. The airport at Palma was very busy, but very well organised, and we were through in no time. Our flight arrived early in Edinburgh, and this is where the adventure really started. I had booked the return bus for 6 p.m. Because we had arrived early, we decided to try for the earlier bus at 4:30. There were others had the same idea, but we were two of the unlucky ones who didn't get a seat. That was when I discovered our ticket was actually for 600 hours instead of 1,800 hours. A phone call to Explore informed me that seats on the later bus could not be assured. Waiting for 1.5 hours at Edinburgh Airport on the off chance of a seat was out of the question. So I asked the driver to point us in the direction of a bus into the city. This took us to St Andrew's Square, which was only a short walk to the bus depot. Another bus was about to leave for Inverness, so we boarded it and had a change at Broxton Park and Ride for Dundee. Off one bus, on to another, and arrived in Dundee at 8 p.m. Thank goodness for the free bus passes. Meanwhile, texts had been flying back and forth to Marion, keeping her and Alf in the picture, and they were there on the dot to meet us. Phew! The words of the famous Harry Lauder song, "Keep right on to the end of the road," comes to mind. We'd had a bit of a rough cruise, and our journey that day hadn't gone as smoothly as we'd have thought. But we'd weathered the storm. And aren't we reminded sometimes, at Sunday morning services, that if we want to follow Jesus, our path will not be an easy one? John's Gospel, chapter 14, verse 6 says, Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." I wish you a week that goes smoothly and pleasantly. Thank you for listening.